Believe we're live, my friend. You didn't put. There it is. There it is. Very well played. Hey, and you muted me. Mary, Cheryl Gibson, welcome everybody to a new edition of the Parents Lounge. Here we are, Tuesday night, Parental Mental Health Tuesdays, and I got news for you, Jason. I really need it tonight. I need some.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. You look like the creepy old neighbor from Home Alone right now. I expect you to put.
I'm also having I got a haircut and I grew a white beard. It's not normally white. I got hit by lightning in the face, and it.
Did you?
So
wait, so your day is just starting off, man.
Nobody. I had pretty long hair and I cut it, and I've been growing the beard for a couple of weeks. My wife was out of town for 5 days. When she got back, never mentioned it. Never like, oh, you got a haircut, or are you growing a beard? Nothing. I don't. It's like I'm invisible. I feel like I'm invisible at times.
I see you.
Do you see me? We have such a good show tonight. I don't want to mess around too much at the top because we have a fantastic guest who is going to fix the two of us. She can't do anything with Molly.
She doesn't have that kind of time, Taylor.
I was told I would be fixed tonight. Is that wrong? I heard it was one session, and it was.
I said you can take a shot at it. I guaranteed nothing.
Well, would you do the honors for our wonderful guest this evening?
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a fantastic guest. She is a licensed ABA therapist. She's a mental health coach. She's a coach of life and everything. She is one half of the Never Thought I'd Say This podcast. Celia Behar is with us here tonight.
Which is crazy. I can't wait to hear that because I say things all the time, and I never say I never thought I'd say this. I always go, this is exactly what I was meant to say. That should be.
I'm on the other side of that because I actually have. There are things that come out of my mouth now, since I've had children, that I never expected to say. Like, is this chocolate or poop? Has been said way more times than I ever thought it was going to.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's yeah. Now I'm getting it more just because, we've always said that no one's ever asked or said to me like, oh, I wonder what Jamie's thinking, because I'm always so blatantly open. But anyway.
You offer it up quick.
She's partnered with Jody Sweeten in that podcast. Is fantastic. Celia Behar is here tonight.
So funny.
So funny. And we chatted a little before the show, and it's great. So I don't want to waste too much time. Thank you guys for tuning in, all of you. I see all the regulars already commenting. You guys warms my heart. It's been a long week. Spring break was last week. So it was like pandemic. It was like a mini pandemic stuck together. So that was horrifying. Be sure to like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. And some of you guys share the show to your page, which we love. Thank you so much, because honestly, it's really about trying to help other parents. And that's kind of why we begged Celia to come play tonight, because she's hilariously funny, which we love, but she also is pretty super helpful, right? I mean, it's a lot of great parenting advice. So we're excited.
I felt like it was a great playmate for Kate because the language is on the same level.
Yeah, Mulligan Oliver, she already used the C word about 7 times just in like the 3 minutes that she came in before the show started. So yep. I don't think there's much more to say about it. So let's
roll it.
You have 90 seconds to go mix yourself a little cocktail or, do what you do, and get ready to sit back. We're going to chit chat. We love your jokes. We love your comments. We love you guys so much. So hit it. We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the not so bad. My eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids. But the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Our resident mom, Kate Mulligan, is joining us, and of course, our wonderful guest from the I Never Thought I'd Say This podcast, Celia Behar, is here.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
I mean,
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
to what do we owe this honor? Truly,
I mean, I
who
don't
who did you owe a favor?
me or them?
You.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, no.
We're low
Yeah,
life.
we now
We're high
owe her a
class.
favor.
Oh wait, and listen, Jamie, I can't fix you, like mentally fix you, but like, you know, I'm Jewish. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of qualified to like fix you in a circumcision-y, vasectomy kind of way. If you need
I had it. I already had it a long time ago. You gave me extra. I don't know if this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm absolutely snippy snip jack.
Sure.
Which is back in the day. That was how they do it. I guess they snippy snip it, but super sensitive. Sometimes when I was younger, I wished I had the sheath to maybe dull some of the sensitivity because
Old snake in a sweater, Taylor.
I couldn't get through school. Like if I just moved around in my seat and there was like one little, I was like, oh.
That was just you, Jamie. No other boys get a boner when the wind blows. That was exclusive to you as a young kid.
When I was younger, I kind of wish I just had a penis in general.
And
Sometimes I still do.
Currently, honestly, the way in which I can't pee anywhere is a real bummer.
Yeah. No, it's
No, I 3D printed you something that is going to fix that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
He's not joking. Actually, tell Celia what you tell Celia your new invention that you guys this should be a sponsorship deal for you.
Yeah,
guys.
Kate, set it up for me, and then I'll explain what I did.
My boys, I got two boys, Celia, and I have diapers in the car with me because basically even today, like the 4-year-old, like neither of them's in diapers anymore. But basically, he's like, I gotta go pee-pees, and like I didn't have a mask for him to run into the school, so I was like, okay, come to the car, and then I just open up the diaper, they whip their wang out, and they pee into it.
yeah.
I don't have that. Like if I tried to have any sort of accuracy, especially like if I'm at the point where I really have to pee, it is just it's a Jackson Pollock situation, right? It's just it's gonna go everywhere. So
Sure.
Jason, Jason was like, I'm gonna help you with this.
Well, so Kate kind of told me that she needed a design that would fit comfortably and allow for her to be a mobile peer. So I in a 3D drafting program, designed a device that would allow her to do this. That's kind of like, it's an add-on that she can use as she needs that will allow her to pee. It'll drain out the bottom, and I 3D printed it for her, and I will be presenting to her when I come to Los Angeles in 2 weeks.
It's like a funnel.
It is. It's basically like what you would use to, put gas into your car or the lawnmower.
That is for women. There is a thing that exists for women that is exactly that. There is a product that is exactly that. But let me just, Kate, for serious for 1 second.
Yeah.
You've never been on a car ride since having kids and had to pee like so fucking bad that you've like not taken a diaper and like shoved it in your pants and been like, this is,
100. I just it's zero accuracy. I mean, I've actually full on just peed myself
into your pits, shove it down, and pee in it.
How accurate do you need to be with a diaper?
Right.
That's why it's a diaper.
Well, this is what I'll say. The diaper is for a 3-year-old. I'm a 4-year-old woman. I got a big old bladder. I will tell you, it overflowed. I ended up kneeling in my own piss, basically. I went into the back of the car after a hike, and I kneeled down and I put the diaper under me and I peed, and then it just bubbled over. It was
You clearly didn't get the super absorbent,
No,
The adult.
I did it.
My kid is
Yeah,
10.
they make Depends. I mean, that's kind of a thing.
I should have had Depends. I should have had
Yeah.
Depends. You guys,
Yeah.
thank you for the notes. I didn't ask any of you.
I mean, if I could go back for 1 second, you were on a hike. I'm so confused. Were you hiking in the mall and you just
No,
didn't
I was
feel
hiking with my
comfortable
two
You're on a hike.
boys.
Just piss next to your car. What's the problem?
What is
Also,
it? Is there a
It's a
burrito?
busy
Is there a
Jamie,
burrito
you've
place
got-
over the hill from you that you needed to get to? Or
time out. You've been hiking in LA. Are you actually in nature when you hike in LA? No, you're around every celebrity that's like walking their dogs. Or I mean, there's more traffic on a hiking trail out here than there is on the 101 sometimes. Okay.
That is, from what I know of hiking, and again, I'm going to fall back to the fact that I'm a Jew, and Jews don't really hike or do nature. But in the 2 times in the 8 years I've been hiking in LA, it's true. that is correct.
Okay, everybody's got a lot of advice for me tonight. Squat.
I mean, listen, you probably hiked past a homeless dude taking a dump. So, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to think twice
I
if you
will tell you.
bent over and peed.
Today we definitely had that. I didn't realize we were out waiting for my son to come out of his class at the Park District, and I was like, we were walking around, and then I realized at some point my son was just like off by these bushes, and there was a man just pulling his pants up after taking a shit in a bush. So
That's nothing in LA though, because it's
No.
I mean, some guy was riding a bike the other day, and both my daughters were in the car, and when I mean full fucking crack out, you know, broad daylight going right by Trader Joe's, and my oldest saw it first and she was like, whoa, and my youngest one was like, you know, looking down at something. She goes, what? And I was like, nothing, and then she just yells, ass crack.
We need to learn early, so it's good.
Yeah.
That's really super helpful. By the way, I have a name for it. I just thought of a name for your new product, the mock cock. Just
mock cock. Oh, I like it. I like it.
Cock
Somebody had suggested sheeness. The sheeness.
The sheeness is
yeah, we have heard sheeness.
Yeah.
Squatty Potty's also working for me.
that exists.
That exists. Squatty Potty exists
already.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
Squatty. Oh, Jason.
That is like
Celia, take it away. Take it away, honey.
First of all, because Kathy Griffin actually used to be their spokesperson, I'm just going to hold up her merch as well. She lost that endorsement when which she was like, that
it's bad when Squatty Potty pulls
she
out.
said that was the most painful. She was like, that was the most painful thing I lost was Squatty Potty. It's like a little stool that you put your feet on when you have to shit that you can like kind of push on, so you're more in the way you're as God intended you to poop.
Yeah, like this, like sort of like the catcher.
Like you're in, like if you dug a hole and stuck your tushy into a hole and shat that way, that's kind of
camping style.
Yeah, it's basically it's just like it goes on either side, like you stand on either side, and apparently it's the way that your digestive tract is aligned.
Right.
Oh, I've been doing that with a Paw Patrol stool for a while now.
Okay.
Also fine.
So, fine,
Also,
yeah.
But
I just didn't know what it was called. But
get on the Paw Patrol stool, though, your kids will eat it. I think everybody knows that. Or wipe it on their face. That's a good way to get pink eye. So
I have one more. You ready?
Yeah.
Urethra.
Okay.
My urethra hurt, actually.
Yeah, I felt that one in my teeth.
Right. A little bit.
Urethra.
Like Aretha. How about Aretha Franklin?
I was there.
You were close. Yeah, I like it.
No, it's got to be Urethra Tanklin.
Okay.
Urethra Tinklin.
Tinklin, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All falling into place.
I feel like probably the godmother of soul doesn't. It's a little disrespectful.
We've
going
been here 14 minutes and we've already devolved to this.
Yeah,
IPO tomorrow. Boom.
I think that's like the greatest honor that you could probably bestow on her. Also, I feel like after this entire experience, I'm going to end up with a UTI just because of you three.
Just for talking. Yeah.
Oh, did you not read that disclaimer on the email I sent you? It actually is pretty common of our guests.
I can't read.
Our exit gift is cranberry juice. So just trying to
Here.
You are a licensed therapist.
I am. It's scary, right?
No.
It's delightful.
What exactly do you have to do to get the light? Is it like
hang out with me more?
So to become a hairstylist, you go to like 2 months of school, right?
That's about the
wow.
Something
I
right. No, but this is my point. 2 months of school to be a hairstylist, to be a bounty hunter is like 1 8-hour day. That's all.
Okay.
You're officially a trained, can hold a gun on somebody, bounty hunter. So, so there's parameters. We don't know. What does it take to become a licensed therapist, and would they accept someone like me?
No.
I mean, sure, if you get into a program. I have an undergrad degree in acting. That worked out really well. Actually,
Same.
Hey, political science, not much better.
And actually, technically, mine was drama. It wasn't even fucking acting. So I guess, great. Yeah. I just get to be the.
By the way, do you mind?
Would be.
Are you really good at creating drama? Then maybe you're doing God's work. Do you know what I mean?
Well, honest to God, I think that's why I failed at it, because I don't like the drama.
Oh, you don't?
Then I became a therapist. So I just listened to everybody else's drama.
Yeah.
I went back to school, and I went to school at Hunter College, and I got my master's. So I have a master's degree, and that's in counseling, and I have a special certification in school counseling. So I'm a permanent licensed school counselor. Then you have to do a certain amount of internship hours and supervision hours at a job where you're actually working with clients in order to get your mental health counseling license. So I completed that. I think it was 4,000 hours of that. And then I moved out here. I became an ABA therapist. That was another like 300 hours.
I'm so sorry. What does ABA stand for?
That's applied behavioral.
Okay.
So for children with, well, not children, anyone with autism, anyone on the spectrum.
Okay.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll talk after. Everyone talks about the spectrum. That's why it's a spectrum. And then I have different certifications in things because I am an overachiever. So vocational counseling and some rehab counseling and abuse, like, and trauma, that kind of stuff. Things like that. Fun things that, really happy topics.
Oh,
and then we have her on the show and talk about poop, according to Cheryl Gibson.
Yeah,
I often wonder, as a comic, I kind of wonder, because I see the world in a different way, how far out on the spectrum I am. Because I can tell you, like, if you said, hey, you remember that keychain from when you were like 12 years old? I'd go, oh, it's still in a drawer, in a shoebox, in the garage, up 4 things over. I haven't touched it in 40 years or whatever. But if I meet someone 15 seconds later, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. I can't remember anybody's names.
I'm terrible at names, but there's the reason for that. So they say is that we are usually, when someone introduces themselves to you, you're so nervous about replying, you're not listening. So the way to sort of try to beat that is to repeat their name like 4 times, when you're like, hi, tell me, like, hi, I'm so-and-so. And you are like, if you repeat it, I mean, but I get it. I mean, I can sing you the entire album of All I Need by Jack Wagner, and I could not fucking tell you where I, left my keys today, or if I locked my car. And today I couldn't remember either of my children's birthdays on the call with the insurance company, and they kept being like, no, that's not the year that one was born. Do you want to try again? And it took me
I've done that. I've done that. That's really funny, Celia.
But in fairness, like, here's the thing about kids' birthdays. A lot of times I find that, like, I've got a kid that was born on the 17th in 2015 and a kid that was born on the 16th in 2017. It's too many teens.
That would be confusing.
Yeah, I bet that's Celia's.
Yeah,
I'm lucky because I had twins, so I only have to remember 2 birthdays, the one for the twins and one for the 6-year-old.
No.
That's cheated by having twins.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's not fucking fair at all. And I have 2 kids, and that's a lot. So I
But it reaches a point where, like, when my daughter was in kindergarten and we'd all only known each other like a few weeks, you're like, oh, it's Bob, Jay, hey, how are you? Hey. But one's in 4th grade now, so I'm kind of like, hey brother, what's up, man? Hey dude, lady.
You want to know what's fucked up? My older sister has 10 fucking children. 10. There are no multiples in there.
I'm sorry, what?
10. Yeah.
I want the diagnosis on her. What's the diagnosis? Give me the diagnosis.
Orthodox
narcissist
is the official
diagnosis.
Breeding them out. Let's breed them out.
A lot of walkers.
Fun to open with it. I don't know all of those kids' names, by the way. I after 5, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm fucking out. Like you just, I don't know.
Celia,
I don't know.
one of them is 100% Shlomo.
No, so
100%.
no, there's not a Shlomo. There's not. There's of course a Rachel. She's actually pretty, you know.
Rebecca?
No, that's my fucking middle name though, and she doesn't like it. So it's probably my fault that there's no Rebecca.
There's an Ari. There's got to be an Ari.
There's not an Ari. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's an Ari. He could be one of the last 5. I don't fucking know. Right. There's an Avital.
That's close. Yeah.
Tell me about. I agree with you. Like her poor vagina is right, and she had the last one at 49 years old, and she like didn't. Yeah. Oh. And I remember when I talked to her, then I was like, we were talking about something else. And I said, I was like, you know, congratulations. I was like, I heard. And she just went, about what? And I said, you're pregnant. She goes, oh, right. But like, I don't know. Who cares anymore?
Celia, I'm actually so fascinated by the Orthodox culture. Like I've been watching everything I can about it. Because I also used to live in West Hollywood and I'd run through you know, sort of like any place that, for those of you who don't know, if you live in an area where there's Orthodox Jews, a lot of them will live where they can walk to a temple. So wherever there's a temple, you'll find there's neighborhoods very heavily populated with Orthodox Jews.
Or they'll live where there's free parking, where they can leave their car after they drive on Friday night, and then they take it up until Saturday after sundown.
Listen, I didn't say
that's
it.
That's how I go. That's how I choose where I'm going drinking. If you have to like move your car by drink anywhere near there, I'll pick a place that goes, oh, you can park overnight. Okay, I'm gonna drink here.
Were you raised Orthodox though?
I was raised as a conservative Jew. Yeah.
Okay.
So underneath that,
yeah,
my parents kind of went back and forth. There was points where my mom was more reformed, but then when she got remarried, she became more went back to conservative. So my house was kosher. And I went to Jew camp and the whole shebang, but I refused to have a bat mitzvah because I wanted to be in the high school play, which was very un-Jewish of me because let me tell you, you'll make like thousands of dollars from being in the fucking play. And I gave that up.
Wow. Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it. I didn't like synagogue. Obviously, I stayed very religious, as you can see from all of my.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, yes.
My very Jewish tattoos.
You're like on that, you know, that show, the Amish one, where they don't the Amish get like a 2-year period in their teens where they go see what the world is like.
Yes. No, Jews don't get that. No.
Jews don't get that.
No, I mean, you could do it, but you're going to come back and, you know, your grandmother's going to like have ripped black cloth and they're going to be like, oi, so like you really just needed to give me a heart attack and this is how you treat me? Did you want to put me in an early grave? You know.
Irish are the opposite. Yes. We don't have any of that kind of tradition. We all get pushed out into that kind of world right out of the chute, and we're left there.
Yeah, well, I know it. Irish and Orthodox Jews have a lot of fucking kids. Like,
do you know?
Yeah, it's true. That's the Catholic way. Breed them out, and that's how. I mean, that's why this country, all the white rich people are having like 1 kid, 2 kids. It's all the immigrants typically have a lot of kids, and then you see France, and that's why the far right parties are starting to be like, hey man, it's because certain religions breed a lot of, you know, it's customary to have a lot of kids.
It's, I mean, like, you know, with Judaism, there a lot of it is obviously because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but there was this thing called the Holocaust. We lost a couple Jews, and that was
just a few.
I've heard of it.
I think my sister was actually just trying to like repopulate all of them, but I'm not totally sure.
She has a long way to go to repopulate.
This is true.
What we lost.
And I think her uterus is most likely like, nah, I think I'm good. I think we're done now. I would think.
Okay. See, I can't imagine. Like I'm barely hanging on with 3, and like my grandmother on my dad's side had 18 children, and I don't.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The Orthodox Jews
was down to fuck. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what, the Orthodox Jews are unbothered as fuck. I'll tell you what, those women, they'll be in a Ross dress for less with 12 kids, and those kids will be tearing this, and they're just like, you know, like, Shlomo, you know, like, get the stuff in it. Like, they are chill as fuck because they're doing the Lord's work. They're procreating. And like, I got to tell you, I was like, I fussed more over one kid or two kids than they will over 12. I mean, it's like, they're the chillest. I don't know.
Lori, my older sister said to me one time, so I was like, I think it was when she hit like 4. And I was like, how are you? And I didn't even have one yet. I was like, how the fuck do you deal with 4 kids? And she was like, honestly, like after 2, I just found that they all took care of each other. What I was gonna say. I don't even parent them anymore. They parent each other. I was like, all right.
When I first moved here to LA, my first apartment was like Pico and Robertson, very, very Orthodox Jewish area. And
a lot of walkers.
I kind of the guy who walks down the street is like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? And I'm from New Hampshire, so I don't really know anything at all. Nobody even spoke to me.
No.
And then somebody told me, they said,
no.
I know where they're going. You're not going to be. So they're not wasting any time with you. To them, you're temporary. You're just here for a bit, and they're planning the big vacation, and you ain't going on it. And I was like, honestly, makes a lot of sense.
They're going to the show, and you're going back down to the fucking minors. That's pretty big. Well, when I first moved to LA, soon after I moved to LA, I of course end up, without even meaning to, I moved into a Jewish neighborhood because I didn't know I moved up from upstate New York. And I found like a place real fast that my, family and I could move into. And it was me by myself. My kids and I came out here later. My now ex-husband drove, after. I end up in an Orthodox neighborhood between synagogues on either end. And I'm like,
wow. So your Jew sense was tingling.
Yeah, like it was my Jewy sense. Like it was like, woo, right there. And then one morning, and there was an Orthodox family of 4, I think at the time, that lived next to us. And I was pretty newly divorced. My kids were just fucking around. It was Friday morning and we were late and I just needed to get them to school. And, I'm like, they were flicking each other in the head. That's what they were doing. I just kept, Mom. And I was like, stop it. Stop. You guys, stop. Get your book bag. Stop. And I'm sort of pushing them out the door. And as soon as I got them out the door, they're doing it again. And now we're like going to be late. And I just fucking lost it. And I'm like, guys, get your fucking asses in the fucking car. I said, I have had enough. Fuck you. It's fucking Friday. Get in the fucking car. And they were like, okay. And we walked straight out our gate. And the entire Orthodox family is all standing like in line order, like littlest to the oldest, and they're all dressed the same.
They're like, Liesel.
Yes, exactly.
Friedrich.
We're just like out there. Yeah. And the mom is there and the dad is there. And we just like lock eyes. I just looked at them and I was like, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Yep. Good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom.
Jason, I can't believe it. We found someone who's actually got a filthier mouth than Kate does.
I'm impressed, to be honest. Honestly, I suspected it. I knew they were going to be besties.
Pretty, yeah.
When I was online dating and I used to have in my profile that I had a potty mouth, and I was like, if cursing offends you, swipe the other way because I will fucking offend you. And then I met my boyfriend that way online, and within a few I don't know, months or so, like he would kind of bust me on how much I swear, and I was like, hey, I said, I told you, like that
as advertised.
I said it. And he was like, he said, lots of people say that on their profile pictures. And I said, oh, so like none of the girls who went out before cursed as much as me. And he said, no one I've ever met before in my entire life.
Hey,
yes, I'll take that
cool
badge.
You're the greatest at one thing, and that's something. That's
Yep,
it counts.
It
counts.
Well, I used to be. I have a album where I swore in front of. I'm from the Navy. I was in the Navy. I swear. I still swear a lot. I even said shit to the kids tonight. They were fighting in the backseat of the car before soccer, and then I had a long conversation with the older one and said, "What are you doing? Stop with it. Stop with the fighting. Just you're picking at it." No, I'm not. Oh, I'll try to be better. 30 seconds later, we get in the car, we drive away. Within 2 seconds, they were like smashing each other. I actually almost pulled like a Rockford Files. Bam. Actually, first I went, are you guys strapped in? They both went, yep. Fucking right down the side.
You Tokyo drifted?
smashed my hand on I almost broke my phone. I was like, I told you to stop picking on each other. She was like this in the back seat. I was like, okay, all right, okay, and I drove away. And then they didn't fight again for the rest of the ride.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that shit. Jody told a story once that made me laugh for like 3 days. She was like during Christmas, and she took her mom, so Grammy, was in the car in their van, in her minivan, which is almost all windows. And she has her 2 girls in the back, and they went to go drive around and look at lights and stuff for Christmas. And the 2 of them were in the back of the van, the 2 kids fighting. I can't see over her head. I can't. She's like, there's windows all over the place. And she kept being like, stop it, stop, trying to keep calm because her mom was in the car. And finally she just pulls over, turns around, and she looks at them and she goes, listen, whoever says anything next is going to get out of the car with me. And one of us isn't getting back in. And they were both like, and then she just totally was quiet, and she called me up. She's like, I basically just challenged my kids to a bar fight.
She broke a bottle on the edge of the car.
And it was winner take all rules too. Yeah.
She started taking her earrings out. She was like,
she go, and then she's like, 5 seconds later, they both were quiet. So she's like, got back on the road and just acted like nothing was happening. She's like, "Ooh, look at the big Snoopy." Never mind.
I was still shaking, and we went by a house that was tented for termites, and I went, "Look, that house is tented for bugs." That was it. And they were like, it was like, and I was still shaking.
Yeah.
I already feel like
Dad, I believe this is called gaslighting. I'm not here for it, Dad.
When my oldest was still a little baby, and she, like 3 or 4 maybe, and I was trying to get her in the car seat, and she was planing, where they plane, and she won't let in, and I got a knee on her, and I'm melting. Get in that! I'm trying to break, but I don't want to shatter her hip.
Right.
I'm literally sitting on top of her, trying to get her in to get the strap on. I'm like, get in that! I'll fucking kill you! Get in the car! And I stumble around, and she's like screaming and screaming. I get in the car, I drive, whatever, for the day. Nothing happens. My wife goes to put my daughter to bed, and she comes back into the room, and she said, did you say something weird to Hannah tonight? And I go, why? And she goes, well, I went to put her to bed, and I said, good night, Hannah. And Hannah went, I'm going to fucking kill daddy. And I was like, that kid means it. I would lock the door. That kid's fucking crazy. But that was the only, and here's what's funny. They don't swear. I've said shit. I say shit a bunch of times.
Jamie, they think they're normal words in your house. They don't even know that they're being sworn.
I think I'm with you, Celia. Listen, it's just a word. I can't stand when people lose their mind over it. It's just letters connected. It's an emotional thing. Fuck's not even God in God's vein. It's a swear word about sex.
No. Yeah, you know what? I taught my kids from an early. First of all, I did say they're grown-up words. They apparently are grown-ups now. That's one thing, but because they use them. But I kind of just took the road of there are lots of words that you can use to hurt someone, including any of those. And if you're using any word to hurt anybody, then you're going to get in trouble with me. And that's not cool. That's not being kind. Even if you say, fuck off. If you're saying it to me, you're definitely going to get hurt one way or the other. But, if you're just being like, fuck or shit or whatever, I don't really care. But there are words that really do hurt people. And my kids are not allowed to be like, shut up, for real to each other. They won't say it because they know that really bothers me because that's rude. But I don't know. I wrote my oldest daughter has me watching fucking Bridgerton season 2. It's awful. And I wrote her today, and I said, I said something about one of the characters, and I called her a twat. And I was like, she's a twat. And my oldest was like, I know, right? It didn't. Was there?
And how old is she?
She'll be 16 in October.
Oh,
okay. They apparently don't know. So
I think
Sugar is right, by the way. Words do hurt Jamie. Words hurt Jamie. Like when my daughters say, sometimes the kids will say,
words hurt Jamie.
I'll give you an example, Shug. This happened to me. I told this before, but we were looking for something with my daughter, and they were melting down. It was nothing I touched. My wife was like, you threw it out. It was like her soccer uniform. I didn't throw a fucking soccer uniform out. We're looking for 30 minutes. It's a meltdown. She sends me to the car. I go to the car. I'm out there for 20 minutes. going under the seats, everything in the car. I come stumbling back in. It's all quiet. I'm like, did you guys find it? And my wife goes, yeah, I forgot. I put it in the closet. And then my daughter, the 8-year-old goes, yeah, as soon as we got your negativity out of here, we found it. I fucking melted down. I exploded on her. I've told you guys that before. I lost my shit. And
I've never heard this before.
You ever heard that?
No, we have not heard this.
By the way,
and she thought she was being funny. Like she's
Wait, was Hannah or Claire?
by the way,
it was
to
Hannah.
be clear, she was being funny.
She was. She goes, yeah. As soon as we got your negativity out of here, we found it. I go.
I would make this prediction now. If there's one child in the Kaler house that causes Jamie to have the heart attack that kills him, it's Hannah.
How old is she?
She's 8 now. I love the kids so I love them so much. But she's mini me. So I have a neighbor across the street, and I'm a sarcastic joker. I just say. So the guy says, the guy is sitting there. She's like 5 at the time, and he goes, hey Hannah, how's it going? And she turns to him and she goes, wouldn't you like to know? I go, oh, that's gold. But
that's amazing.
There were a bunch of other parents around, and all of a sudden I'm a dick because she's my kid. And so I made her write a note that said, I'm still learning how to be funny. I understand that children aren't allowed. And I made her copy it over letter for letter and put it in his mailbox across the street. And she wrote this big long thing. My dad is teaching me that how to be. And I know certain things seem funny in my head, but they're not yet. But they will be. But this line really is funny, my father told me. Because I go, look, that's a really funny line. I'm not going to lie to you. It's pretty funny.
I mean, that was pretty
cool. Oh, yeah. She nailed it. She looked up at him like, wouldn't you like to know? I was like, God damn, that's funny.
But she obviously knew she was being funny. My youngest one keeps saying shit that just the wrong things. Like she's using the wrong words or expressions for things. And then I find out that she's said them to the teacher. And I'm like, oh shit. She was telling me a story one. And I wish I'd thought to have her write a note to the teacher to explain. I did not say that in front of her because I'm hand to God. I think now we can agree. Like I'm outing myself for all kinds of shit. I've never used this word in front of her. One day we were sitting at my table talking, telling me a story and her sister. And she was like, yeah, I was telling the teacher and the teacher didn't understand me. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. You get the jizz of it. And I was like, whoa. What did you just say? What did you just say? And she was like, you get the jizz of it. You get the jizz of it. And I was like, no. Did you say that to your teacher?
Yeah. Listen, I've gotten the jizz of it so many times in my life.
At least twice.
Oh, man.
One of her special skills is on her profile. On her resume, it says special skills. It goes, I get the jizz.
I get the jizz of it.
You have to write that down. Whoever's doing stand-up, that's a fantastic on-stage joke.
It was so fucking ridiculous. And I was like,
hilarious.
It's gist. And she goes, oh, well, what does jizz mean? And I was like, fuck, didn't see that coming. And I don't know why I didn't. See what I did there?
You walked right into it. Yeah.
For the final punch, though, you have to go, come on, what's the problem? I get the jizz of it. Come on, me. You gotta just keep pumping the other words for it.
I'm just totally then had to also explain to her in the most I was so not ready for the conversation. So I'm like, well, it's I'm just
when a man and a woman's nether regions ache for each other.
Yeah, I should have said
that. Or sometimes just your freshman year of college.
Listen, whatever.
I still blame the circumcision. I'm very sensitive. I get very sensitive. Are guys, this is a valid question. Are guys who are full sheathed?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends, I used to work in an Irish pub, and they were all Irish guys.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Why the fuck would you do that, boy?" I go, "Wow, I didn't do it. I mean, it was done to me. I was a baby." But they weren't. They were elephant boys. Yeah. And is it less sensitive?
No, it's more sensitive, you turkey.
They say it's more sensitive. Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
Man, I can't even imagine more.
Yeah, it's more.
I mean, if I had that much sensitivity and the internet, I don't make it. I don't make it past 14.
And wait, I'll also add an Oculus.
Oh no.
It's a coupling of some sort.
Yeah.
You're popping and locking over there, Mulligan. Is your kid on like on the Wi-Fi?
On the
Oh
porn?
no, is it? Oh, I can open.
You did some stuff.
They're not
Come on, you know what you did.
She's actually got porn on her Oculus going as we speak.
Yeah.
She's streaming something there.
Yeah.
Let me open my door. That's the word. Am I?
Oh yeah, the door. The door will help. Open the door. That lets more Wi-Fi through. Well played, my lady.
We have the like the boosters.
Mm-hmm. Well, since the Earth is flat, once you open a door, everything just kind of circulates much easier through there. I feel like.
Maybe I'll tell you what. Once I get your negativity out of here, my internet will work better.
Well played, Mulligan. Somewhere Hannah's laughing. I knew that was funny. I knew that was a good line.
It really was. Wait, why? I'm sorry. Now I'm going to be like a little therapist. Why did it upset you so much? Did it tap into something?
I got dragged into this looking for the soccer thing. I knew I hadn't done anything. And I was accused of throwing. She was like, you must have thrown it out. I go, why would I throw out a soccer? I don't know, but it sounds like something you would do. Why does it sound like something? What the fuck?
It does kind of sound like something you would do.
And no, it doesn't. I gotta throw it out.
I'm sorry. I just said that to watch you flip
This
out.
morning we have 7 minutes before the kids have to go to school. I'm trying to order their lunch for next month. I'm online, and I'm like, chicken taquitos or French toast for lunch. Nothing. So I have to make lunch on the 22nd. Write that on the calendar. Next day, pancakes or egg sandwich. Nothing. And I'm going through. So I'm doing this. So I have 7 minutes trying to get out the door, and my wife's like, "Hey, I've been looking for some jeans, my summertime jeans." So I could have sworn they were in the garage for some reason. And did you throw them out? Why would I throw out your jeans? I'm not fucking throwing out. She goes, seems like something you would throw out jeans. I'm not throwing shit out on a day. I don't just go through the house and rummage through things. And yes, Jason.
Celia and I have a question about what summertime jeans are.
They're summertime jeans. They say summertime.
That's a valid question. I'll ask.
No, I can tell you.
Do they say summertime across the ass? Like, I need more information.
No, I'll tell you what.
Whip in the ass to let the breeze in.
Maybe. I don't.
I gotta believe they are a lighter fabric, not as heavy of a denim.
Oh,
that being said, when I left, were you guys like, Jamie, tell the most interesting story ever? Is that what I walked back into?
Yes.
I was out. It was taquitos or French toast. And then it was the summertime jeans. Is the internet working now, Kaylor?
Even the kids couldn't get through. I go, kids, focus. And all of a sudden they'd be like halfway through the month, they'd be like, wait, what are we doing Friday? I go, Jesus, he would focus on the task at hand. Then let's get through today. What the? And then my wife kept saying, she goes, you throw the thing out. And I go, I wouldn't throw it out. And she goes, let me ask you, are you wearing these today? Like this morning in the next 22 minutes? It's 7:18 in the morning. She goes, no, I was just trying to get them sometime. I'm looking for my clothes in the garage. And I was like, well, my wife, one time she called me to go she goes, hey, you need to call me back. This is really important. And I go, so I broke out of what I think I was working that day. And I call her back and she goes, hey, I was thinking maybe we should take a trip to Ireland next year.
That's shit.
Something that I go, what the click.
You hung up on her?
Waiting for a meteor to. Don't worry, the meteor is going to hit the Earth before that trip to Ireland happens.
Yeah, I do shit like that to my boyfriend all the time. He's like, I don't know why you're asking me a question right now about something that's happening in July. I don't know, and I'm like, because I have shit to do. Like, I want to plan. I need to know things.
But you guys plan so much that you end up canceling. Yesterday, I took back 2 things to Bloomingdale's that she bought that didn't fit the kids or something. I go, why don't you just take the kids when you shop for clothes? No, Jamie, this is much easier. I like to bring it home, have them try it on at home, and then have you drive back to Bloomingdale's and return it.
She's not wrong. That is easier for her.
Yeah, that's easier for her.
It is easier for her. I get it. I know that you don't like it because we were talking yesterday while that happened.
Every day I go, you know who one of my best friends is? It's the guy who works at the fucking UPS store. And Jason's with me. The only reason I know him is because every day I bring back a box. And he goes, man, what did the wife buy this time? I got it. It's going back though. Fucking here's the label.
I'm on a first name basis with the entire staff at our UPS store, thanks to my wife.
Really?
That's
Wow.
I have a service where they see me come in, they just shoo me to my own special area to get everything ready, and then they deal with me on my own special terms.
I would like to say that both Celia and I bristle at this generalization you're making about wives and women.
I made it about my wife only.
I buy everything on
Celia's
fucking
not very
sale because I'm a Jew, and so I can't return it anyway.
Thank you. By the way, Celia, I don't know if you know this, but I'm basically Jew adjacent. I'm Jew-adjacent because my kids went to a Jewish preschool, and all of my friends are Israeli. And if you think we sit down and say grace, you're wrong. We sit down at the table and say, "Chamotzi lechem min haaretz." We keep going.
Tell you what, when I come to California, if I don't see you do that before every meal, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, you're gonna definitely get a hamotzi. Absolutely.
Yeah, hamotzi's nothing bad. I'm with you. I'm surprised that Israelis are doing that though.
No, Israelis, no. Toof. No.
Yeah, they're secular.
No.
They're like, fuck that. I don't want to have it.
My friend Hall, one of my best friends is like, I don't know what that is.
Comments. So many of the comments are killing me. You guys are hilarious tonight. Shug and Mary.
Wait, so who is
Celia, that one's for you.
Ale or Ali? I don't Ale.
Ale?
Hi.
Ale?
It looks like ale.
Ale. Hi, Ale. That's for the.
I have a question for you. So it's like I think about my children, what they're going to be like when they're adults and stuff, and then I see things happen on the news, and I wonder about the parenting skills that led this child to these decisions.
Sure.
Like we've all watched the Johnny Depp stuff, and we'll get into that. But first, I want to talk about the young man who picked a fight with the former heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson, on an airplane.
What were he bit a man's ear off. What the fuck were you thinking? What did you think was going to happen to you?
That's the guy you start nudging. And he's a young kid. He's probably pretty buff. What kind of parenting skills went into raising that child?
I mean, what kind of parenting skills went into raising Mike Tyson also? But fine. Well,
He didn't have parents. I think he was
genetically cloned like Jurassic Park.
His mom and dad were gone drug addicts. I think a grandma was there for a while, and then you know who was his dad was the boxing trainer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Million and one reasons, but I don't know. Clearly, these were not parents that were like, know your audience, know when to know when to hold him and when to fucking fold him. And you should have sat the fuck down, Kenny Rogers. This was not
Funny shit. I mean, he didn't really fight Tyson. Tyson just pummeled him in the face. But that should be, are you going to do a parenting book? You should do a parenting book because that's one. I always say, those are some of the things I always say. I say, know your audience, know your craft.
Always know your audience. Me and Jody talk about that a lot. And we've been asked to do a parenting book a lot, but Jody and I are so, we struggle with the follow through of anything. The fact that we are, keep up with the podcast or our friendship at this point is fucking
We're the same. We talked beforehand. I said, we normally just fly by the seat of our pants and you go, oh, I'm going to fit right in.
Thank God. If you'd asked me to prepare, the fact that I sent you pictures last night was a fucking miracle because I hadn't checked my email in like 3 days. I've been waiting for the weekend.
Can we show,
you can show whatever you want.
The video of your daughter. All right, everybody, do we need to set it up or should we just let it run and then talk about it?
It really sums up my kid who's older now, obviously, but she's the same personality right here.
Lulu, what are you doing?
I can open and close my butt.
What?
I can open and close my butt.
How do you open and close your butt?
Like this.
You're clenching your butt? Okay, thanks.
Well,
you notice Mulligan's not laughing because she's like, well, I can open and close my butt too. So I
was like, hey, special. I was like, she's not special. I start taking my earrings out. I'm like, what?
What does she think? She's gifted and talented or some shit?
Just do it to you guys. She's
well, that was different than I expected.
Is she the one that's 16 or 10 now?
She's 10 now.
Oh my God.
She gets the jizz of it. That's that.
I'll tell you what.
Nice callback. That's a good callback.
I want to close her butt for that. Let me tell you.
But here's what the problem is. All of us and the audience included, we're going to use that someday, like in the future, like 2 weeks from now. and someone's going to say, I get the jizz of that. And everyone else in the room's going to go, what the fuck did you just say? He goes, oh, no, I was watching it's, oh, fuck. Because now that's gold. That's such a good, that's a shirt. That's
I know.
Shirt,
we definitely thought about putting on a shirt, and I guess we probably will soon. But we're always like, oh, but whoever wears that shirt, like, what's gonna happen to you if you go outside?
Come on, and it should be, come on, I get the jizz.
I get the jizz of it. Well, she followed that up recently. Well,
How do you follow that up?
Yeah.
That's
This is what happened the other day. She was in the car with me and her sister. I was driving them to school, and we were talking about sex education in the car. She's really like, she knows what's coming up because she's in 5th grade, and that's when they step them in and stuff. And she said to her sister, she was like, Harper, what do the guys say when like what are they going to do when we watch this video? Like, what's included? Because I have to talk about periods and stuff. And Harper goes, oh, the guys aren't in the same class with you. They like go and learn about deodorant, and you guys have to learn about periods and boobies and sex and all that stuff. And Lulu just goes, oh, good, thank God, because I just know that there was going to be 2 guys in the back of the class while the movie's on jerking off. And I went, whoa, what did you say? And she was like, what? They'd be like jerking off, like, hey, yo, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nope, that's not what you mean. That's not what you mean. Don't say that again. Have you said that in school? Did you say that to your teacher? And she goes, yeah, like 2 of my friends. Why? And I was like, so you meant goofing off, not jerking off. Don't say that again. And my oldest goes to say something, and I go, stop, like, no, quiet. And Lulu just goes, well, what does jerking off mean? And I'm like, fuck. Like, and I just go,
I mean, you saw that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, it were in that ballpark.
It was early. I really didn't. And this was my response because I couldn't think fast enough. I just went, well, you remember when you said, you get the jizz of it? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, the jizz is what happens when you jerk off.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Harper goes, I couldn't say what I was going to say, but you could say that.
Yeah. You know what? Harper's in charge now.
This show took a turn. You feel it, Jason? This show took a
turn. Yeah, I did feel it. Yep.
See, funny. By the way, when Lulu asked me for like the 3rd time what masturbation was, speaking of Harper being in charge, I finally just turned to Harper and I go, I don't have this in me. Can you take this one?
Okay.
No, Mom, it's not my job.
So should we have Harper on next week?
Probably.
I have a question. Well, Jason, we know Jason has a problem with it because he
jerking off. You have a problem jerking off? What?
Okay, all right. Why are you bringing this up again?
This just in. Jason has a problem jerking off. This just in.
So I received this message, Celia, just a few weeks ago.
I was like, since I've been on the show, sorry. Yes.
It did come through again while you were here, but this is what happened. Something in my algorithm has triggered this lady, and I think it's a bait and switch. I really do. I think that once you get in there, I realized that it was a Christian fundamentalist thing. Once I went in to make funny comments. It didn't go well for me. I was preached to.
It makes me so happy.
I felt really dirty after I left, and I was like, "Oh my God, I am a sinner. I really have. I've made some poor choices." But Jamie talked me back, and he's like, "No, you're good. I think you're doing fine."
Why is that a sin? Why is that a sin?
What, jerking off?
And also, it wasn't even me; it was my wife. So my wife was the problem.
Hold on, I'm so confused. You made comments about jerking off in a Christian thing, or your wife was jerking off in a Christian thing. I'm so confused.
So I believe my wife was looking at the material that caused the ad to come through in the first place.
Okay.
But upon realizing that I received this message, I went in and made smart-ass comments that were not well received by that community.
By the way, Justin Mario is Tyson's trainer, took him in when he was 16. It was the closest thing he's had to a father, which is true. But if the closest thing to a father is a guy in a gym who basically smokes cigars and teaches boxing, you're going to get what you get. I have a question
for Rocky.
So I don't. You guys might not be, but there are women who get so. I've heard women say like, "I caught my husband, and he was masturbating, and he was using pornography or something," and they're so upset. And you're like, "Well, I mean, either join in,
no,
or
I'll
leave
tell you
alone."
what. Honestly, it just sounds.
I
And
begged my
that's-
boyfriend for videos. I'm like, send me a video of that.
I gotta tell you, that's called my day off. Okay.
I always was like, wouldn't it be like you would open it, you would catch him? Like a lot of in the movies, it's always like, oh my God. Wouldn't you be like, oh, thank God that's taken care of? And then just
I would
walk out.
back,
That's what it
I
feels
would
like.
back the fuck out
Yeah.
and then just pretend to be asleep.
Yeah. You'll be asleep soon anyway, too. So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's where I'm at right now. I have a feeling that in a couple of years, Stella's going to get her groove back, or I can go off Zoloft or whatever. But in the meantime, please stay away.
My wife would be disappointed if I didn't. Like, I think she would be really disappointed in me.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to fuck you, or because
No, she wants an all hands on deck party, Celia.
Yeah, she's
yes, I think that's. I mean, no, sure, yeah. Why? It's kind of hot. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Thank you.
At
Thank you
least
for
when you so
validating
like
it.
your partner. I mean, I don't. I'm sure there was a point in my marriage that I was like, I don't want anything to do with anything about you, which is why I'm divorced. So there's that. God, I hope my kids didn't find this and are watching it right now. When that's
Hi,
They
Lulu.
might as well learn. They might as well learn.
Should I go back
Hello.
and change all the hashtags? You want me to just change that so they don't find
Funny.
it?
I mean, you grow up and you
Lulu,
think your
congrats
parents
on-
are like these
listen.
figures
They
on a
don't
planet.
listen to the podcast. They don't listen to me when I'm in front of them. The last fucking thing that they want to do is see me talk about anything, anywhere. And I'm sure, and my boyfriend was like joking, was like, I'm gonna watch it too. And I 100% am sure that he is not, nor did I remind him to, because I'm like, I think it's better for our relationship if we keep this boundary where you kind of don't exactly know what I say on a podcast, because sometimes I talk about you.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Your wife's never seen
You've
anything.
been pretty tame about him. I mean, you've been pretty.
Well, I love him, so I don't have anything bad to say. I just, it's at times I'm sure it's kind of daunting to be like, oh, she talks about me sometimes, and I do, but not in a bad way usually.
We brought up earlier, we should talk a little bit. Did you watch the Johnny Depp stuff?
I did not.
I've seen a little. I have such a low tolerance for it. They're both very abusive addicts, and it's a hard thing to watch. And I know everyone's like picking sides, but they hit each other. They were emotionally abusive to each other. That's a traumatic thing to watch one way.
I agree with you almost 100%, except that it is not hard to watch. It's the greatest thing that's ever been on television.
He's got a weird accent happening because people.
I said the same thing. He's
He
Madonna. He's a poor kid from Florida, and all of a sudden he's become Hunter S. Thompson.
That's, by the way, that's not new. He's had that.
He's had that
fake-
forever. He's always
Well, yeah, he's like people think like he's like people who didn't know are like he's born in the UK, right? I'm like no, but
white cat
apparently
from
he's like
Florida.
testifying as Jack Sparrow in this. Every time I see him, he's like sober Jack Sparrow in like on trial. I'm very confused about it all.
He was huge friends with Hunter S. Thompson. He played him. Have you ever seen that? Fear and Loathing, and be like, it's fantastic. And he does a fantastic job. He's with Benicio del Toro, is fantastic. But he stuck with that. And people have said he kind of idolizes him and is carrying on his, but he said stuff in there. And it's so funny because the guy was like, you were drinking whiskey at 11 in the morning. He goes, well, it's happy hour somewhere, I believe. Gold. You have to watch it. And then the guy is reading text where it's like he says that he reads a text to like Paul Bettany or Keith Richards, and it's like, my C word of a girlfriend is a blank, and I wish I could gut her and kill her and do all these crazy things. And then the lawyer would always, after every text he read, which was gruesome, that's like, he thought he was being funny in some weird jokey way. The lawyer would always go, am I reading that correctly? And Johnny Depp would go, you read that very well. It's you have to watch this thing.
I did see that the judge was like told his fans they were gonna get removed or something because he said something like, do you remember that movie? And he said, I've made lots of movies I don't remember, or something like that. And they started laughing, and the judge was like, I will take you out. I'm like, goodbye.
They showed a picture of him passed out, like unconscious, and he's got ice cream melted all over him or whatever, which is, I actually have a joke about that because I did that back in like college. And
I call that a typical Saturday, actually.
That was yesterday.
so
but-
he's not even embarrassed. He's like, is this a photo of you? And he goes, yes, that's me. I believe I'm asleep. And the guy goes, he's like on a couch, legs are folded up under him, and he's leaning against the back. And he goes, but if you notice, I have my hand in my pocket, which means I probably wasn't even eating that ice cream, and it looks like it was placed for the photo's effect or something. And which is kind of right. He goes, I will tell you, I worked 17 hours that day on Black Mass. And if you've worked on productions, I'm sure he was exhausted, tired. Oh, and he also says, I was on heavy drugs on it. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, because you can't eat an ice cream cone with the other hand in your pocket. I mean, he should.
it was a Talenti, actually, like, which is my favorite ice cream. I was like, oh, that's.
I mean, according to Alanis Morissette, you can do a lot.
I was like, Alanis Morissette can do
in my pocket,
with her hand in her pocket. So
the one's eating ice cream while I'm passed out. I think that's in the extended lyrics.
That's in there.
Jobo!
Joe! You gotta have to.
Yeah, Jobo is one of our regular folks. He's a riot.
Hi. Somebody else was just saying that they were like, I know you. You are Jody's friend, and that is true. I am Jody's. But that's actually my middle name.
Jodie Foster. For those of you who don't know, she's best friends with Jodie Foster.
That's right. That is
like
correct.
this. That's the Jodie Foster.
That's my middle name. Much like I've told my older daughter that her middle name should just be "Go get your sister." Go get your sister. That's all I feel like I fucking say. I've said it to her for like 7 years. I'm amazed she actually didn't think that was her name for the first 9 years of her life. Like, that's all I do. Go get your sister. Right?
That's in 10. I will not live to see either of my kids hit 16 or 10. None of them. I have 3, right? I have 3. Is that right?
You have 3.
Jody Arias.
Yes, Jody. Jody
That's
Arias.
The one. That's
also
the one.
Correct. All the Jodys. I'm just best friends with all the Jodys. It doesn't matter.
You guys know Jody Arias. Did you ever watch that? How it happened? Jody Arias. Anybody?
No.
She killed the dude in the shower. She murdered the guy, her boyfriend. I forget. Hey, Jobo, what's the storyline of it? She kills him, and then I forget how she gets away with it. She thinks she's getting away with it.
Wait, in real life,
murder podcast? Because if it wasn't, I don't know.
Jody Arias, yeah, Jobo, you're gonna have to write something or something. Google Jody Arias, Jason, if you're on your computer.
Yes, I am.
Genevieve says she's a psycho. Oh, there's a great show, and she's like, you have to watch. There's a Jody Arias documentary. It's fantastic.
Ooh, okay, well, I like a good murder documentary.
Yeah, Jobo's right. Fantastic.
Travis Victor Alexander was an American salesman who was murdered by ex-girlfriend Jody Ann Arias in his house in Mesa, Arizona.
Shit.
Yeah.
Had it coming. Lived in Arizona.
Well,
then I think it was one of those. She drives away and then leaves some messages like, "Hey, are you okay? Where are you? What's happening?"
Oh, she was
like gruesomely stabbed, and she was on the stand. Oh, that's right. She was on the stand for 16 days. You have to watch. It's gold.
Probably not as entertaining as Johnny Depp stuff.
Right now,
Celia, I have a question for you because every time I lately I'll hear people and they go like, "Did you hear the news?" I was so shocked, and I go, I haven't been shocked in a long time. Like the only thing that would shock me if I walked into my kids like made their bed and cleaned their room, that would be shocking.
Yeah.
Like human nature wise, nothing shocks me. Like people like, oh, they pulled a restoration hardware lamp out of his ass. Makes total sense. I totally see that happening. Like nothing, there's nothing that shocks me anymore.
Well, that's only because he could open and close his butt. So
that's true.
I mean, first of all,
sure.
Which is a skill.
I mean, as a therapist, and I'm like, God, I'm almost 20 years at doing this, I think now, something like that, 18 years. There's very little that shocks me. I can't say obviously much about it. I will say I'm currently helping somebody, and I for the first time in a very fucking long time, I have been shocked.
Okay.
Like, I was
really?
like, holy shit. Yeah, usually, she's somebody who's a back and forth relationship, and this guy, came back around 2 years later. I love you, I love you, I love you, and then it's just gone so fucked up in the sideways. And I usually can, spot. I'm pretty good at being able to like say what's going to happen in relationships after this many years in it. One thing that I have a really hard time with always, and most people do, is, identifying a sociopath, because sociopaths, unlike psychopaths, they learn to pass, and that's part of it. And so like they do and say things, even though they don't have the feelings. Right. And that's a problem. Oh, fuck you, Len. I know that was at me. That's
Lenny.
So, Len is.
Is there a story there?
Yeah. Somebody came. Whose mother came screaming at them nude?
I think it was Celia is the mother. Yeah.
So Len is. I love you, Len. By the way, he's a Never Nationer, as we call our podcast listeners.
You have fan names.
We do have fan names. Len is like one of our original set. We used to say we were only going to have 7 listeners. Len's one of the original 7. And it's actually worse than it even sounds the way he wrote it. He was being kind. This is what happened. My kids were fucking around in their Harper was having some sort of meltdown at night. It was really late. I was exhausted. This was back in my old place. They were still in the same room and they had bunk beds, and Harper was on the top bunk and Lulu was on the bottom bunk, and Harper was freaking out, and I was trying to calm down. Harper, stop. Like, she can hear me. Our rooms were attached through a bathroom. I'm like, Harper, you need to stop it. I told you to stop it. And then, that rage that only a parent really understands, because it kind of like, you think you're fine, but then all of a sudden you're like, I'm not fucking fine. And I just lost it. And I jumped out of bed and I ran in there to yell at her, but I sleep naked and Lulu's on the bottom bunk. And I fucking was like in Harper's face on the top bunk, screaming at her. I was like, you better shut up, fucking, like, just lost my shit on her. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that not only am I yelling at her naked, but that poor Lulu is on the bottom bunk with
You're also in Lulu's face.
China view as her crazy naked mother is screaming at her older sister on a
like a deer in actual headlights.
Yes.
By the way, Lenny, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lenny, for bringing that to our
attention. Prompting. Lenny's our producer off camera. Lenny, thank you for the prompt. That was fantastic. We've talked about it before. I slept naked for a brief period in my 20s, but that went awry. So now I wear shorts.
Why did you go awry?
Naked.
But have to go back to a past episode that we talked about that.
Why? What happened to you? Why did you?
You remember that? You remember that story, Jason?
Prompt me a little more, because I am
having San Diego. It's pretty hot. I'm I'm in my bed. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I just woke up. I was awakened with a phone call. My mother.
Yes.
So I answered the phone with my mom. I'm on the phone and I'm totally naked. And just for guys, like, your hand the sheets were off me because I was so hot in the room, because in San Diego, there's no air conditioning. And so I have my hand on my junk, just because your arm's the perfect length. I wasn't doing anything. It was just resting there, kind of like, Jason, guys just hold their hand there.
I mean, it happened. I mean, it's just a biological thing. He is right. He is being honest.
The suspense is killing me. Was the call coming from inside the house, Jimmy?
My mother was in the house. That's such a good joke, Mulligan.
I just need to know.
So I'm on the phone naked. My hand is just laying on my junk. I'm kind of hungover. It's in the morning, and I'd forgotten my girlfriend was coming over. And I had roommates. I was like in early 20s, and they let her in, and she opened the door, and she walked up, and she opened the door and walked into my room. I'm laying naked on the phone. My hand is on my junk, and she goes, "What the fuck?" And she melted down. And then all of a sudden it dawns on her. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "I'm talking to my mother." And that was the end of that relationship, pretty much.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a totally true story.
She's a square. That girl's a square.
That wasn't the end of the relationship. I mean, that did end soon after that, but I think that was because I was 22 years old and
Tobo asks a very important question. This is for the culture.
This way. Was it your stepmom?
Was it your stepmom?
Yeah. And I was rooming with the Bang brothers. Is that true, Tobo? I don't know if the girls know who the Bang brothers are, Jason.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes, of course. What are you
really?
I feel like these two particular girls do. Yeah.
I watch porn. Oh my God. Wait. I don't think I've even said this on our own podcast, but fuck, I'll just out myself. There was a little trend going around, and your kids aren't old enough for it, but my oldest one is, that they're like, it was a TikTok thing. It was last year, and it's like, play this in front of your parents, and if they know what it is, then you know what they do, kind of thing. But I didn't know that's what was happening. So I walked down the stairs, and Harper has this up on her phone without even realizing, actually, I was even had walked down the stairs, and it was the
Pornhub.
And I went, what are you listening to? Why is that familiar? Because I couldn't place it at first, and he was like, Mom! And I was
Should do it immediately.
Sugar's right there with it.
I gotta tell you, Celia, I'm still old school. I'm still like, because I grew up on
magazines.
You've got the Playboy with Pam Anderson in it.
So if I see something that's like some of the times, like something will pop up and you'll just be gruesome, and you'll be like, oh my god, that who's.
Oh.
But somewhere, someone's like, yeah, that's really turning me. I'm like, if that turns you on, you're in serious trouble. Like this is
how I like to watch. I'll watch porn on my phone.
Yeah.
And when something's like too close up, I just still do like one of these. Like I put my finger over part of it, like where I'm like, oh, I don't need to see up that lady's asshole. Like that's like a full vision of things that I don't need to know what can go up there.
I like that tip.
You know, just
yeah, I like that. That's a good way to do it.
We've all looked away. I've like been like, oh, I can't. I don't want
that. But I think that's it's good. It's sound advice.
I never saw Two Girls, One Cup. I wouldn't watch it. People tried to show me Two Girls, One Cup.
I also never saw it, Jamie. That's so funny.
I also never saw.
I watched all the reaction videos.
I didn't see Two Girls, One Cup either. My boyfriend told me about it. He's like, want to see it? I was like, no, I don't. I've lived this far.
When I was a kid, there was remember like video. Well, you guys, I don't know if you're old enough. Video stores. You remember you go on like a Friday night and you'd be like,
back room.
They're sold out of everything. They were sold out of all the new things, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess I'm watching fucking Blue Thunder again with Roy Scheider. God damn it.
Okay, I'm probably older than all of you. I bet.
Have you seen my beard?
There's 0% chance you're older than Jamie.
Don't even. Oh again.
I have an older kid. I bet I'm older, but I will say that back in the day, if you remember this, then we maybe are the same age. Remember the show on, I think it was HBO or Skinamax or one of those called Electric Blue.
Yes.
And it was like back when, you had the thing, you had to find the middle channel.
The scramble channels.
Yeah, the scramble channel.
I know about the scramble channels, honey.
Well, I'd watch that at my dad's. After he'd go to bed.
Kate was like a NASA scientist in there, like doing
Tokyo. Man, I'd be like moving that around, trying to.
42 when Electric Blue came out. When I was a kid, they had the video Faces of Death. Do you remember that? There was a movie called Faces of Death, and it was in the video store. And what it was just clips of people who had died and like the crime scenes or whatever.
What?
It was called Faces of Death, and it was this big thing in high school where people you got to see Faces of Death, and there was some guy who drowned, some like murder.
That's terrible.
It was terrible. And remember in the day you'd rent like 5 or 6 videos and keep them, watch movies all night.
Should knows Faces of Death.
Yeah, there was like a whole urban legend around it too. That like if you watched it, then like eventually became like a paranormal aspect to it. That you would also die. It became They actually made an American Horror Story thing about it.
Really?
That's called The Ring.
What season?
It's the new anthology thing that they're doing.
All the guys know Faces of Death, and so it's so weird. Like I remember a guy got eaten by an alligator. Fuck, sure, yes.
Well,
I remember.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Katie knows. My apologies. I want to apologize to everybody for the way I am. She's absolutely right.
Wait, Celia just said something very important about men, and I need to hear it.
Yeah.
I just said you said, Jamie, all the men know about it. And I said, well, yes, because, historically speaking and psychologically speaking, more men are psychopaths and sociopaths than women.
Thank you.
Not even a question. Absolutely.
Right.
And
so of course, you all saw Faces of Death. You were like taking fucking notes, trying to figure out.
It was available at Blockbuster.
I blame Block. It was in Blockbuster. You could get it. It was like a skull on the cover. I remember it vividly. And I watched it, and halfway through it, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. And even the guys we were all watching. We were like, this is horrible.
No, I don't. Faces of Death said what? Someone just said Faces of Death is a podcast for men.
It was the murder mystery podcast for men back in the day.
There you go. Wow.
It was like, back in the day, it was like a viral video that you would. I mean, everybody knew about it through high school.
The rite of passage, Jamie.
It was a rite of passage, and it was one of those. I think that's why I didn't watch Two Girls, One Cup, because I still to this day remember Faces of Death, and I was like, I don't want to watch. So the
premise of Two Girls, One Cup is that they both shit into a cup and then drink it? Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, there are nuances to it, Kate, that you're missing, but sure.
They eat it. See? Boy, this podcast fell apart.
But I'm saying, like, isn't that like I'm sort of like that is my understanding of what 2 girls, 1 cup is.
Well,
Yeah. That's my understanding too. That it goes.
Doug had a fantastic idea. Is that how much do we donate to get Mulligan and Jamie to watch 2 Girls, 1 Cup?
I mean, honestly,
really.
My fear of the rotavirus and salmonella and
Absolutely not.
I
all
can't.
the same thing.
I'm with Mike. He said drink it. I was like, honestly, it made me fear for Mulligan's health. I was like, how are your feces coming out?
I'm just only.
I mean,
I've got one speed. It's diarrhea.
And then drink it, right? Like it's chocolate milk. What? No.
So
Sorry.
we're clear. 2 Girls, 1 Cup was not available in Blockbuster in the 90s, correct?
Oh, you've seen it. It's super gross. It sounds horrible. Back in my day, there was a Waters film. What's his name? From the guy from Baltimore. He with Divine, the drag.
John Waters.
And they make the movie.
Everyone goes naked in his movies. Sure.
He walks around and the dog poops and then he eats the poop.
No.
I
I kind of remember that actually.
It's called, Female Trouble. Anybody? Obviously, Professional X knows exactly.
If they wanted to make a porn version of Faces of Death, it would be Vinegar Faces of Death, right?
You're not wrong.
That's your Pornhub version of that.
Ding, ding, ding. Pornhub.
Boy, you sort of fit in very well here.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
I gotta be honest.
Terrible.
This thing's gone I feel like it's gone further than I was ready to go. I'm
ready to take a Silkwood shower after this entire experience.
I felt like we were just gonna hold hands and make out, and all of a sudden, Celia's hands down my pants, and I wasn't ready for it.
Wait, but we did
I'm
just
sure my wife's gonna waterboard me after this.
Yeah. By the way,
which has happened, and I was like, each time I was like, I'm not comfortable. I guess, yeah, I'm sensitive.
Okay.
I'm sensitive. Yeah.
Well, I know that I'm happy to know that Kate lives in LA, so that I can go over there and watch 2 Cups with you, I guess, or whatever.
Yes.
Why don't you save it till I come out there? We'll all just watch it together and we'll film that reaction video.
Oh my god, this is gonna be. I would just watch it. Like, how do I do it? I would just.
I honestly think we should make a video, Celia, where it's called 2 Girls, 1 Cup, and it's just you and I wearing my son's cups for softball, for t-ball, just rubbing it on my pussy and then putting it on yours.
Hey, what are you doing?
How much money we'd probably fucking make doing that?
I'm just saying, that's 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
That's an OnlyFans channel that I'm in for because fucking Sweden isn't allowed to do shit like that. So
Murphy, you missed one tonight, my brother. You missed one. You might have to go back and watch.
Hallmark and Lifetime movies. She's held to a higher standard than me as a therapist.
Yeah.
I mean,
so she can't do shit. I'll do it with you.
Did we recap the shit? Oh, it's Pink Flamingo. I knew it. And
So I've got all the answers.
So John Waters is revered as a fantastic independent filmmaker from those years. And
Divine is in that movie. Divine is in
that movie. Yeah, Divine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible.
I've seen that movie.
Sorry, if you're a John Waters fan, it's a horrible film. Female Trouble, like they're just terrible films, but he's still revered like a giant film.
Did he make Lost Highway also?
No, that's Lynch, who's one of my favorites of all time. Who's crazy, but Blue Velvet's one of my favorites.
I never needed to see. Not that I don't love her; she's fantastic. That was more nakedness of Patricia Arquette that I've ever needed to see my entire fucking life.
No, she's
love.
She never has clothing on the entire movie. She just runs around nude. Like that's all she's doing with a very big.
Watch Mulholland Drive with little Naomi Watts in it. David Lynch gets the clothes. Blue Velvet with Isabella Rossellini.
Yeah, I like that one.
I love Lynch. Most of you people know, but David Lynch does the weather every morning. It's on NPR. They play it. David Lynch.
No, none of us knew that.
There's a phone number you can call and listen. And David Lynch goes, "It's Tuesday, April 14th.
Shut up.
Beautiful sunny skies that remind me of a Roy Orbison song from 1960. Candy-colored cloud. Nobody who doesn't know David Lynch does the weather. They play it on NPR all the time, and then they typically go into the song. I couldn't agree more. I watched Eraserhead. I hated it, but then Blue Velvets with Dennis Hopper.
Okay, it was the ear,
That's
right?
Star Wars.
Ear,
Yeah,
there
Times
was-
a Year with Kyle MacLachlan
Yeah.
and Laura Dern.
Yeah.
It's
There
my
was a
Laura
lot
Dern.
in that.
Actually, Mulligan, do your Laura Dern.
I got it. It's Ellen, run. That's her from Jurassic Park.
That's gold. That's so good.
How have I never seen that before?
My Laura Dern from Jurassic Park.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Have you seen Blue Velvet ever? Star.
No, I'll tell you what I've seen. The hottest movie of all time, which is Blue is the Warmest Color.
Loved. Oh, Leia Sadu. She's in the Bond. She's the Bond chick. And
I didn't
by the
know if
way,
I was gay or not after watching that.
Did you guys
You
watch
are.
the
I
French,
am.
the French Dispatch? The
What?
French Dispatch. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one yet.
No.
Leia Sadu, stark naked. Just hanging out.
Always, every
Always.
movie.
That's
That's
same
French.
with Patricia Arquette. Also, always naked.
Mm.
I have props to them though.
Big fan.
I could
I
do
feel
it.
like Patricia Arquette almost requested it.
All right,
Probably.
here you
I
go.
only like to be naked when it's in a bunk bed screaming at my fucking children.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if like when you scream at your kids and they kind of go, "Yeah, whatever, mom." If you scream at your children naked, pretty sure they're gonna listen, right? They have to.
No, mine didn't. They know I sleep naked. They were just
Oh,
kind of like,
right,
"All right,
yeah, what happened to you?
put that away. Just put it away, mom." They were like,
Hottest film. So is that your hottest film of all time, Mulligan?
Blue is the Warmest Color.
Color?
Yeah. Yes. That's
Really?
just like
Mine's two
Oh,
girls, one cup. So
two girls, one cup, honey. You know it.
Short, but I don't need a minute more. That's
I'll
all I
tell
need.
you what, it's
Minutes
two
and
girls,
30.
one mouth. That's what I'll tell you about that.
Whoa!
yeah.
David, what's his name? Adrian Lyne films, like Unfaithful. Honestly, 9.5 Weeks still to this day is probably one of the hottest films.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, so, okay, what's your hottest film?
Mine?
Yeah.
Blue is the warmest color.
color.
It's a-
And Celia?
I've never heard that at all.
apparently,
Mine-
my computer's unplugged.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. No.
No, seriously. I
It's the large Marge part.
I would love
gets
to
you,
hear.
right?
I would love to hear from a female point of view because my wife likes like hot films. She likes hot films. Like we love Unfaithful, Diane Lane, Richard Gere,
You
Olivia.
know what mine is
I know
actually?
Diane Lane's like a sticky.
Mine's
Unfaithful.
Secretary.
Unfaithful is
Oh,
blindingly hot.
secretary.
Mine's
Oh,
secretary.
Match point for me.
No, Secretary.
I fucking
I remember
love
liking it with Spader and
Maggie
Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I'm sorry, I like Maggie Gyllenhaal as an actor. It doesn't.
but that's because you think her boobs lay weird.
Well, did you watch The Deuce? Which
Yes.
she's perfectly cast for that. But
She's
come
got-
on, you get it.
So,
But
She's
she
wrong.
nursed her children.
It's fine.
It's
It's okay.
such a good movie, and he's
It's a good
super
movie.
sexy in it. And there's
Yes.
that like hot,
Yes.
I don't know, like the whole bossing her around but not, and him being, they're both sort of hot messes, but it's like just sexy. I thought that movie was fucking hot, like for sure. Yeah.
I'm
And then,
learning
you know,
things.
bending her over the desk and then like not actually touching her.
Jason's hot film is Doctor Strange
Yeah.
or Iron
That
Man.
is not true. Match point for me is
Dude, I agree.
What?
match point's hot.
Match
Is it just
Point
because you
was
think about
all-
Woody
all
Allen
that-
sleeping with his children?
Yeah.
If Scarlett Johansson,
Still never been proved. I'm still not. I'm not.
Taylor,
convinced about Woody Allen.
Taylor,
So,
Celia,
Roman
go in on
Polanski,
it.
sure,
Go,
yeah,
go
Roman
in on him,
Polanski.
honey. Tell him.
here's the thing. Whether or not even did you watch the documentary?
I've watched numerous ones. The one was made by Mia. The one made by one of the people. Yeah, the Mia Farrow one I watched.
But it's her. But you shouldn't be listening to her. You should be listening to the victim. And the fact is, I will tell you as a therapist, the fact that her story never changed. His daughter's story never ever changed the entire time and all the years. When you're a child, regardless of if someone fed something to you, you are not going to retain that unless,
Right.
when you look back at things and you're like, I remember this from when I was 2, and you can just be like, put it the whole thing in, you're like, I remember I was sitting on the stairs and my dad came in, and like things when that happened to you when you're really little really do like sink in. So even if someone fed you the story over and over again, the story would have changed in her mind slightly. But let's even take her out of this scenario, which I don't like to do because
Well, the fact that he marries his stepdaughter,
that's a fucking problem.
that's a problem. I got a
That's
problem.
a little-
I got a problem.
it's off for sure.
Like that's I have a stepfather. She was the same age as me when my stepfather came into my life. Soon he was the same exact age as me. And anyone who's ever been like, but they weren't related, I'm like, no, fuck no.
I agree.
That was
You know what? You sold
That's
me.
gross.
All
Like-
right. I don't like Woody Allen. Hey, that was a stupid choice, Jason. That movie's awful. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm sorry, I'm a Scarlett Johansson fan.
I love it, man. I
Probably
love
where it went
it.
to.
Your films.
Now I've lost my camera.
But by the way,
No.
I feel like Lost in Translation is some of her hottest work ever.
Yeah, I love that movie. Also, love it.
Who's Scarlett? Oh, Scarlett.
Yeah, I just feel like she's such a babe in that.
I mean, the Horse Whisperer when she's like 7. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that's why you back
Well,
to
now it went in a
Right.
different
That is
direction.
why you like Woody Allen. That's
That's
there
okay.
you go.
That's there it is. That's why
I'm a
you
huge Scarlett. I like Scarlett Johansson a lot. I think she's a great actress too. But yeah.
I mean, and
So
like, well done with the, what's his name from Colin Jost, man. Like, props to him.
Right? Good for him.
Yeah,
That
that's
was,
a
like,
He makes it a little. That gives a little hope for the funny guy once
Yeah,
in a while.
it
Yeah,
does.
it really does. It helps.
I can't remember. I think it was Mike on one of the weekend updates, and he was like, "I didn't know that we were allowed to ask the guests out." Or I guess like, I would have done things like
Hey,
that.
what was Sudeikis was with Olivia Cook? Yeah,
It'll be a wild. Yeah.
Olivia Wilde. Funny people do well.
Yeah.
Wait, how you doing, Jamie?
Mulligan's
Didn't Wild just have a baby with what's his name? The other from Hello. What the fuck is his name? Why can't I remember anyone?
the hello guy. Hello.
Vicky's very funny.
Didn't he just have Olivia Wilde just had a baby with
I thought she's with Harry Styles now. Well, we turned into Entertainment Tonight.
Obviously we didn't, because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Like,
What are there four parents who are totally out of touch with society talking about some celebrity stuff? I love it.
Should we get to Celia's pictures?
Actually, we
No,
should.
we have to.
oh, crap.
Also, somebody asked her an actual legit question.
I know.
They did?
They did?
Yeah.
Is there a real? Where's a good
There was
question?
a real. It's a paragraph up above. It's from Mike Luciano.
Okay,
Lucky-
might be.
Hold
what do we got?
please.
Lucky Luciano,
Hey.
who had a question for a therapist. Now,
Oh,
I think we
got
should
it.
all give our opinions and then let Celia tell.
All right. Hey, everyone. Hope you're
Actually,
all
let's
well.
all start. Let's all do it, and Celia will go last, and she'll tell us how wrong we are.
Therapist question is someone who has a parent that is emotionally manipulative, obligated to communicate with them
Okay.
because they're family. Like, if you couldn't see yourself having any kind of relationship that doesn't result in feeling like shit, are you still obligated to try? You did say to take advantage, Jamie. LOL.
Yes, no, this is what the show's about, Mike. I love this. Yeah.
Can I answer that?
I would wait. I think we should have all of the non-therapists
Yeah.
speak.
How about it?
I think, Mike, you get one life, and I think you got to live your life for yourself. But I do think there's a possibility that there could be regret down the line. So
I'll leave it up. I gotta read it.
If you can make peace with maybe having regret, like if that person were to suddenly die tomorrow, if you'd have regret about it, make peace with that first. But I don't think you are obligated at all to keep toxic people in your world. Jason, what's your answer?
I'm going to be honest. I agree with you completely, Kate. As someone who comes from this space and who has this directly in their life currently, I agree with you entirely. I think that keeping the person who caused me so much pain in my life has created lifelong issues that I will deal with forever.
Jamie?
I mean, I agree.
Jamie's just like, I'm still reading.
Honestly, I'm not a great reader. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm still halfway through it. No, listen. It was so funny because I was talking to somebody today, and we were saying, I was talking about the fact that I've always in my life cut people out who have negative energy or have brought, I feel like they are not a good part of my life. Just gone. But it is weird with a parent. I haven't had, like, both of my father and I, I wish I could go back and tell him I'm sorry for being such a dick when I was younger, but he also probably, I was the youngest of 6. He had me late. He was probably like, what the fuck have I fallen into? So we were never really super close. I used to do a joke about how the closest we ever got was a firm handshake. Like, but he was a great guy, but he had his issues and stuff. And now as a parent, I'm looking at my kids, and I don't think I'm emotionally manipulative, but I hope one day that they appreciate everything I've done for them. But so I don't know about cutting off, but I was never in a place where my parents made me feel terrible. I did do things I wanted to, even though my father like yelled at me for getting out of the Navy. He was so angry with me, and I would always do what I did, but I would kind of, I remember not going home often, and I felt terrible about it, but I don't know, Celia. What's the correct answer?
What's the real answer, Celia?
C or D? What would the answer?
There's no real answer, obviously. But oh my God, someone got thrown in Facebook jail for those comments.
I
Congratulations.
didn't see. Cut them off if you're cut them off. Yes, that was a way simpler cut to the chase answer.
So, well, I will. Yes, Jason and Kate. That is, you're both actually. That's correct. So I would say no. You're not obligated in any way whatsoever. What I learned. I haven't spoken to my own mom in 3 years, maybe 4 years. I think it's 4 years now. For similar reasons. It just. And I tried over and over and over again. And what I found was that it was actually hurting me being a parent to my kids. And that wasn't good. But before I did that, and before anybody does it, I would say, if you want to try to make sure that you aren't going to have any regret, then you should do everything you're comfortable with to try and fix the relationship. I invited my mom to go to counseling together. I tell my kids all the time, I will pay for your therapy later, and I will come and be in counseling with you. I will do whatever it takes. I would never let my kids cut me out of their lives without trying to change. And if you've got a parent that isn't willing to do that, if they can't see that in order to keep you in their lives, that they also need to do changing, apologize, maybe own their shit, take responsibility, all that stuff. The best thing that you can do is to mourn the loss of the parent that you never had. And then from there.
She's hitting us with those truths tonight.
Damn it, man. That's hit home pretty hard.
That's where,
the vampire take me right to the heart.
Sorry.
For someone with such a potty mouth, you're pretty spot on, lady. That was awesome. Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, sometimes you mourn the parent that you never had, and you're able to accept the one that you have, right? Yeah. So that's how my dad and I actually have a pretty good relationship, just based on, and it's not a close relationship, but I mourned the dad I didn't have. We have the relationship we have. I don't have any bad feelings about him. It just is what it is, kind of thing. Not the same thing, with my mom, because like I mourned the mom I didn't have. We just at a crossroads. That was it. And that was the end. And that sucks. And it makes me sad still. I'm sad that we can't have a relationship, but I have to do what's best for my kids. And you can start fucking up your kids. Whoever just asked that, let them fuck up on their own. From the very beginning, like the second they come out of wherever they, as soon as you let them, start letting them fuck up. That's what I say.
I also feel like knowing what I grew up in, I feel like I'm not making those same mistakes, but I think I have no idea of the mistakes I'm making.
Right. I'm sure I am making those mistakes, but I also am sure that I say sorry as I make them.
Thank you.
Yes.
The accountability.
Right.
That I feel like our generation actually has.
Yeah.
I think makes all the difference. The number of times I say sorry to my children in a week it's shocking.
Oh, I'm constantly like, I fucked up. I'm sorry, or this isn't about you. It's about me, and it's not your fault. And I'm sorry.
I need to do that more. Actually, I think I have a time, but I find myself acting like my father sometimes. And I walk outside and go, "What are you doing? What are you fucking doing?" But you can't help it sometimes. You get here in the moment, and we're emotional. Our whole families. We're all redheads. We're 4 redheads. My wife's a redhead. I'm a redhead. And we have 2 redheaded kids. And so there's a lot of...
you could be an Orthodox Jew, it turns out.
That's true. That's true.
I'd be Moshe. That would be my name.
Moishi. It'd be more of a Moishi.
I pronounce it Moshe, though.
Oh, okay.
Keep some ties with the Irish and the Three Stooges, mostly.
By the way, Celia, did your sister need a Shabbos goy? Because that's all I've ever wanted to be.
I asked her if I can be her Shabbos goy, and she's like, it doesn't work like that because you're Jewish, and it doesn't make me happy that you can say things like that, and then I know that you don't practice at all.
All right, listen, everybody. It's 8:30. I think that, you know what's funny? The therapist story that you just talked about, that's kind of what we had talked about earlier. So here's what, I mean, if you would, I think you need to come back and we need to have a bunch of questions from you.
Oh, sure. I'll come back anytime.
Super great.
Tell stories.
I hear my kids are running around. I told my wife, I said, hey, listen, if you can just, I'll probably be on until like 8:30. They should be in bed by 7:30 reading till like 8 with lights out. Then she's like, yeah, we got it. I hear you're running around the house as I'm.
You should have said to her, hey, could you go back to Bloomingdale's for me?
Bringing it back home, Mulligan.
You asked me
really quick.
What else would come on, and I was like, "Oh, that date's good because my kids aren't fucking here." So, because Harper would have been in here with all kinds of shit to say about me, apparently.
Occasionally, our kids do that.
I honestly think, Carl, a lot of us, we work very hard to listen. My father was great. I love my father, but sometimes I find I'm doing the things that annoyed me the most about him to my kids, and I'm like, oh, I gotta stop that. So, hey, let's talk about your podcast for a bit here, and tell people how to find it and where to go. And it's great. The clips.
It's so funny.
Can't make me laugh so hard.
One of the reasons I like it is you guys are so bluntly honest about like how you're parenting. I really like that.
We hide it. We try to hide it.
Yeah, I can tell. No, we out ourselves for so much shit. And by the way, it's like something like the, jerking off thing or the jizz of it, any of that, happens in my house. And the first fucking thing I think is usually I'm not going to tell anybody this ever in 1,000 years. And about 20 minutes later, I'm like, actually, I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell it on the show. Because I can't be the only one that has ever had shit like that happen.
No.
Scott, I saw that, Scott. Anyhow, he said 7:35. I'm in my bottom bunk. And I'm not running into your room naked, Scott, but I appreciate it.
He's like, "Where's the bush in my face?"
Yeah. By the way, that used to be my last name when I was married.
Bush in my face.
Bush. Last name was Bush. His last name was Bush.
Oh my God, there's part of me. This is how stupid my brain is. I was like, wait, you were married to Gavin Rossdale, who was the lead singer of
And
I
with your name, Celia, I mean, C is short, so your name could just be C. Bush.
No, I was just going to tell that story. I never took the last name officially, but I used to work for the county as a therapist. And the first day I got to my job, they thought that was my last name. And the email was cbush@tompkinscounty.net. And I worked with at-risk youth. And I walked into my bosses. I said, first of all, my last name is not actually Bush. Second of all, that cannot be my fucking email when I'm going to work with at-risk kids. Are you out of your mind? And she was like, I don't get it. And I was like, and I had to spell it out. And then she was like,
C. Bush. That's the closing story.
That's a closer. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. We'll get your photos next time.
That's my podcast to bring it back. Never thought I'd say this. It's Freddie Sweeten, who's my best friend. And we, most episodes when we remember, we have something that came out of our mouths that we never thought we would have to fucking say, like, please don't put the crayon up the cat's butt. He doesn't like it. Or get your mouth off of the toilet. Or no, don't say you get the jizz of it. Because it doesn't mean what you fucking think it means.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can find us at Never Thought I'd Say This across all social media, except for Twitter, which is Never Thought I'd. And actually, probably we won't be on there ever again. We really never knew how to use it in the first place. And now that Elon Musk fucking bought it, we basically are like, yeah, peace out. We don't need to know. We're fine.
We are going live. We just 2 weeks ago, we're going live.
2 weeks ago, we started going live on Twitter.
And then Elon, honestly, here, I don't want to say that's the reason. We went live. We finally figured out how to use StreamYard to Twitter. Elon Musk buys it for $44.
Right.
First they were about to blow up.
He was like, fix homelessness like I said I would, or buy Twitter. Damn it, now I got to buy Twitter.
One or the other.
No,
you are a rock star. This was awesome. This was
Thank you guys for having me on. It was so fun. I would come back anytime.
Huge thanks to Celia. I have to go put my kids to bed. Thank you to everybody. You guys, honestly, I was telling somebody today, I was having chest pains, and I was like, maybe I had COVID again. He goes, maybe you have anxiety. Yeah, maybe that's the one. Maybe I just have simple anxiety. and now I don't feel any pain in my chest anymore.
You can book a
Oh.
session
Get
with
it
me
out,
and
man.
talk about that. You
You
know,
gotta
book
get
a
it
session.
out. Yeah, I know. You hold it inside and it breaks my.
Next week, we have Mindy Sterling from the Austin Powers movies coming on to talk about autism awareness.
Yeah, she's a wonderful mom and like seriously one of the funniest women. She's up there like Cloris
Super funny.
Leachman and Madeline Kahn and Mindy Sterling, I would say. So she's
And
going to be
Kate
a
Mulligan and Celia Behar. Great, thank
Oh,
you for
yeah,
putting us in there. Thank you. Thank
And
you
then
for
the
putting it
week after that,
We
I'm
love
going to be
Celia.
live in Los Angeles
Celia.
with everybody.
Right. You're coming to Los Angeles. Yay.
Yeah, and we'll do some stuff out here. We love you. Thank you so much to everybody. Please be sure to share, tell other parents, subscribe. This is the worst. I'm terrible at this part. We all are, but we need help. So love us and share the love.
And
That's
buy
it.
tickets for our live show at Flappers on May 12th, my 10th
Yeah, it's
anniversary.
actually in a tiny. It's in their tiny room. So I think there's literally it only seats 30.
So
it-
get those tickets now.
Yeah, so that'll be Mulligan's ex-boyfriend list will be there. And I got
I
nothing
didn't
else.
have boyfriends. I didn't have boyfriends, but I did suck a
Yeah.
lot of dick.
Love you guys, and we'll see you next week here.
Good night, everybody.
The Parents Lounge.